Welcome back to Up Front. We're talking about the launch of Scott Walker's presidential campaign today with John Nichols of the Capital Times and Christian Schneider of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. There was good news for Governor Walker today. Away from the campaign trail, the state Supreme Court ruling on the John Doe probe says the probe must come to a halt. This is very good news for Governor Walker as he enters this new phase of 2016 campaigning.
Well, it seemed to be halted for quite a while. I'm not sure it was, I've never liked the secrecy of the whole John Doe, the sense of we really don't know what's going on there. But it had seemed to be sort of off radar for quite a while. I don't know, is it that much of a help to have the Supreme Court, which many people see as rather friendly to the governor, shut down an investigation into the governor 4 days after he announces for president? Or does it kind of remind people that there's been an awful lot of sturm and drang around this governor? These are separate things. I think it's important to understand the debate about the John Doe is one thing, legitimate, and there's a lot of conversation you can have there. But the fact of the matter is that Scott Walker is still writing his national narrative. And frankly, I know that it will be said, wow, this is great, this inquiry's done, and the court came down very strongly saying this was a bad approach. But to my mind, I think it also highlights that this has been, as the Journal-Sentinel says, although I don't necessarily agree, the most divisive governor in living memory, or most divisive political figure in living memory.
Does this ruling by the court put this issue to rest, or will there be people who still say, well, look at the court, we think the court's even influenced by big money? Does it die, or does it continue on?
Well, of course, people are going to say that, but I was never really convinced that this was going to be that big of an issue in the presidential campaign anyway, especially not in... Well, I mean, like John said, it had been almost dormant for for at least a year. You had some media stories that came out about the pre-dawn raids that were happening, and so if anything, this may have been helping Scott Walker all along, especially in a Republican primary where he could say, look, this is just part of the liberals trying to get me, trying to abuse their powers to come after me. So in a sense, the fact that it's over now, he can point that out, but he can't carry that through the rest of the campaign anymore.
Let me go back to one part of this campaign that has really not been discussed all that much, and you and I, John, and you and I, Christian, have talked a bit about it, either on or off the air. This is the governor's economic record. Mm-hmm. Does it matter in this primary battle, or is the narrative about things other than job creation, does it make a difference? Will it make a difference in this campaign? John, I'll give you the first word, and Christian, you'll get the last.
Job creation and wages are the issues, it seems, at this point. But, we've had things happen just in the past week, horrible incidents like the incident in Chattanooga, that remind us that the major issues can shift. So there's no doubt. But I think that wage stagnation, income inequality, as Jeb Bush says, are really central issues of 2016. So for the governor, he will continue a narrative that says everything he did in Wisconsin worked, it looks great. That may work in the Republican primaries for a variety of reasons. If one of his Republican opponents chooses to highlight the statistics, if he just looks at the reality of Wisconsin, including some of the revenue shortfalls and issues like that, you could well create a narrative that Scott Walker isn't all that fiscally responsible or all that good at what he does. But I can tell you this. If it doesn't happen in the primary, if Scott Walker were the nominee, it would certainly happen in the fall.
Are you skeptical that it will happen in the primary, that one of these other Republican governors, for instance, will make it an issue?
Well, I don't think so, because if you're another Republican and you're running against Scott Walker and you want to take on his economic record, first of all, Walker's got his own numbers. He can point to the unemployment rate, which is lower, and things like that. But also, if you attack Scott Walker, what are you attacking? You're attacking taking on the unions. You're attacking cutting taxes, all these other things. So if you say, well, Scott Walker's doing these things and they're not working, then what would you do differently? Would you raise taxes? So I don't think you're going to see. Yeah. So I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of Republican candidates go after him based on his record.
Not even Donald Trump?
Perhaps Donald Trump, but
I had to bring it back to see how you would respond.
The anti-austerity candidacy of Donald Trump.
But you recall his catchphrase is "You're fired." So I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if he's the guy to talk to about job creation.
Exactly. Christian Schneider from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, John Nichols from the Cap Times and the Nation. It's good to have you back on.
All right, thanks.
Our editorial partner, WisPolitics.com, has put together a series of analysis and opinion articles on Walker's campaign. You'll find them on the Walker Watch blog at WisPolitics.com. Coming up, the next big thing in the legislature.